Today we're going to subject this kicker amplifier to my scrutinous review. This one is a KXM for Marine 400.4, so this is a 4-channel amplifier, Marine rated, and very well built. That's for sure. I can tell you, I've already been poking around. I actually have seen these for years. I've seen the inside out, I've seen the outside, so it's not a new shock to me. I will not be taking this amplifier apart, however. Take my word for it that these things really are what they say that they are. Kicker even puts a sticker on their boxes, you know, with that big warranty. It says, you know, their power rating, because these amplifiers are so underrated, which is a good thing, especially in today's market where so much junk out there. For your width, you have 11 3/16. For your height, you got 2 3/16. And on your depth, you're going to have 8 5/8. So a very small compact amplifier. If you're wondering where is all the connections on this little amplifier, let me show you. There they are. I'll give you a little close-up so you can see a little bit better. Before I get to the other side where the connections are done through the wiring, I wanted to show you these this little side panel here, which is, again, marine grade, because it's got this little seal, and it's got these 2 screws, which I use my my tool here to just pull those 2 screws loose, so that way it exposes all these settings for your amplifier, which keeps an already very well sealed and humidity resistant amplifier even further protected from the marine elements. So that's great. Starting from the left, working to the right, we have a protection light. We have separate gains for your front and rear channel. You have an electronic crossover, so you have your off, so you could just be, you know, straight in and out audio, or you have high pass, low pass, and your crossover, you have a 10 times or 1 times multiplier. Over here is your frequency adjustment, so it goes all the way down to 10 hertz, which is really low, up to 500 hertz. Over here you have the kick EQ. So what this does is actually you can create a slope and you can create a bandpass filter. So if you wanted to accentuate only mid-range on half of the amplifier and you wanted to go full range on the front, or if you want to do subsonic on the rear, full range in the front, you can mix it up any way you want. There's plenty of adjustments here. There's no lack of controls. Kicker really did a hell of a job when it came to that on this amplifier. Over here on the other side, we have a little different. We have off, high pass filter, low pass filter, and we have the band pass control. And for the high pass setting, they have the same setting, 10 to 500, and on the low pass, 40 to 500. With the same multiplier, and you have the kick EQ, which is a 0 to 18 decibel increase. Over here, there's a separate little device which is called a kick EQ. I don't want to get too crazy on settings. There's a lot on Kicker's site as far as how to tune these amplifiers in, but it can get pretty complicated really fast. But I just wanted to make a point that it is there because it is a really cool feature. It's not available on most other amplifiers, such as Memphis Marine. It's not available on JL Audio and a lot of other premier brands. This amplifier really shines in this respect. So let's see the other side. Now this amplifier here, it is rated as a 50x4 amplifier in a 4-ohm situation, which is going to be typical in a marine application. However, this amplifier is bridgeable, and you can mix and match and create a 3-channel, go down to a 2-channel bridge, because you can see that there's separate bridged outputs for either side of this amplifier. Tons of noise choke and toroidal information, so that way this amplifier is going to be very good as far as handling, you know, audio interference from refrigerators, microwaves, inverters, alternators, any kind of stuff that you may have running in your boat, generators, etc., and so on, from noise isolation. Kicker really comes ahead of the pack on a lot of brands when it comes to that department, and that's very important. It's not as big as it is in a car, because cars are just noisy to begin with. Boats not so much, but there are some boats out there that have more than their share of electronics and not wired exactly the way they should be properly, so that's good that someone's looking out for you. This amp is all Class D technology. There is no MOSFET in the footprint on the chassis of this amplifier whatsoever. They call it a conformal coated circuit board, a little different than what someone like Clarion might call it, but the bottom line is that it's a treated circuit board. Corrosion resistant power terminals, which is to be expected. It's stainless, is basically in English is what that means. There is a blue light pipe illumination that matches Kicker's illumination on the marine speakers on the top side of the amplifier, if you actually noticed it. Sealed potentiometers, the pots are all sealed up. so nothing is getting into this amplifier. It's going to last you for a good long time, if not forever. UV resistant heatsink finish, which is not a big deal because these amplifiers are usually hidden, tuned, adjusted, and never seen again. But it's good to know that it's there. You know, it's got a lot. So running at 4 ohms, like I said, is 50 by 4. If you run it down to 2 ohms, you can get a lot more. You can get 200 per channel, which is really something. That's a lot of power for a very small package, as you can see. 95 decibels signal to noise ratio, which is really crazy. That's excellent. As far as your RCA inputs, these also dub as a high-level input. So you could basically do a high-level input if you don't have a unit with RCA preamp outputs. You can get the adapters and plug them into front channel, rear channel. You have a slave channel right here to run it out to a sub amplifier and run it like a sub controller or a potentiometer, bass knob, whatever you have in between there if you don't have a separate independent subwoofer control. You have the input level adjustment button right there. You can cut the fader on and turn it off. This feature is really cool, the auto turn on. What this means is that it'll actually delay it so that way you'll have absolutely no pop like when you start it up and turn it off, which is excellent because it has the setting where it could turn on by 12 volts, DC, or audio signal settings, which is really cool because some units are just really impossible to get by that nasty problem when you have a turn on pop, turn off pop. Even in today's technology, believe it or not, it still happens. I think it'll probably always happen, but it's nice to know that this manufacturer did take certain precautions to keep that from occurring. On the side here, you can see that there's very robust size. You could jam, I mean, they don't say it, but you can get a nice solid 4 gauge in there. And these terminals are nice because they have the flat end, so it actually grabs the wire, pulls it in. It doesn't tear up the wire and shred them up like so many other amplifiers do. Same thing happens for your speaker outputs. Those speaker plugs can easily take a 12 gauge speaker wire, no problem. So this amplifier is just really nice. If you get this and you get the matching sub amplifier, God help you, man, this thing will rock forever. It's just a nice little product. I can't really recommend anything better. If you're looking for something that's really quality and does what it's rated to do, give this amplifier a look. It's called the KXM for Marine, KXM 400.4.